Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Microsoft Surface 3. Now, before I get this device out of the box and go for pricing and specifications, I wanted to talk a little bit about what makes the Surface 3 unique. First and foremost, this is the successor to the Surface 2. Windows RT is now deceased, so for those of you confused or wondering what's different between the Surface 3 and the Surface Pro 3, I'll get to that later, but what you should know is that for the first time, the Surface tablet lineup now is based around Windows 8.1 in its full form. So you are working with the traditional operating system. Beyond that, price point. Because it's the successor to the Windows RT lineup, we still see similar pricing. So at $499, you can pick up the 64 gig model that I'm about to unbox, which sports 2 gigs of RAM, an Intel quad-core Atom processor at the core, 10 hours of battery life, a 10.8-inch full HD clear type display. The res is 1920 by 1280 because it has a 3:2 aspect ratio. It is a Wi-Fi only tablet slash computer because, of course, this is a hybrid now, truly much like the Pro lineup, but simply not with as much screen real estate, resolution, and more importantly, as much processing power. Although I will get to the comparison that Microsoft makes to the i3 version that I've covered in the past. So that's what makes this a game changer, in my opinion. We now have what Microsoft really should have arguably started with in the beginning, but quite frankly, it does take experience as well as learning from those experiences. In this case, success, more importantly, their failures. And Windows RT was exactly that. So they've corrected it and in the process also listened to consumers' wants, which is not something we often see from a company of this size. But let me go ahead and get this out of the box. Again, only $100 separates the 64 and 128 gig version of this tablet. And I would say that makes it also very compelling for those of you that do require more space. And what I really like about this is that you've got 10 hours of battery life, you have a real OS, all the benefits of the Surface Pro 3 when it comes to the physical look, feel, and basically the transition in the entire approach to the Surface lineup, because the Surface Pro 3 was a complete revamp of the look, whereas the first and second gen, not so much, as many of you know. So just to go around quickly on the tablet here, I already mentioned some specifications, but I want to just show you quickly. Basically, Microsoft is letting you know where things are located. No pen included with this. That is an additional accessory now. That's part of the new structure of pricing. But at 1.37 pounds in change, this is still pretty lightweight. Again, for a 10.8-inch, really hybrid Atom-driven Windows 8.1 full experience. You've got the Windows button right there. Micro USB for charging. How critical is that? A full-size USB 3.0 port, mini display port, a 3.5 megapixel camera on the front, 8 on the rear, your power and volume rocker right up here at the top of the display, and again, just build quality that you're really only going to get from Microsoft. If you've used any of the Surface products in the past, then you already know what the build quality is like on these, and it's fantastic. There really is nothing else like it in the business to compare to. There's the 8 megapixel camera I was mentioning before. Microsoft getting a little flashy with the Windows logo right there. I mentioned on the ports, you've got, again, right here, your mini display port out, as well as your full-size USB 3.0 port, your micro USB charging port, so you can charge this with any micro USB charger. Keep in mind that is going to affect charge time, though, if you don't use the included one that I'm going to show you in a moment. Your headphone microphone jack right there. The kickstand has 3 positions, so that's something that will probably be of interest to many of you. Up to 128 gigs can be, of course, added in terms of storage with the micro SD card slot. That's not something new, But you can tell the design cues, what this looks like, much of that is borrowed from the Surface Pro 3. So it's all about the experience, again, and listening to consumers and just seeing what works. On the other side of the tablet, completely clean, that is the right-hand side, power button, volume rocker I mentioned before, and you've got a little bit of a contrast there at the top. I'm assuming this is where all of the antennas are, as well as other instruments. That's traditionally how Microsoft has put this tablet together. I'm going to go ahead and see if it powers on. Speakers, stereo, right here on the side of the device, and it is powering on. And again, this is a 1920 by 1280 res display, 10.8 inches. Remember, the Surface Pro 3, a bigger display, higher resolution, more horsepower. You have a completely different grade of chip, although the Atom chip that is on board here, which is a quad-core chip, it's the X7 Z8700. Microsoft does claim it is at, I think, 80%, as powerful as 80% of the performance based on benchmarking of the i3 Surface Pro 3. So that's just to give the average consumer an idea of how close this gets you to the Surface Pro 3 performance in a slimmer package, of course, sans the pen. New accessories for this, yes. You will need to go with a new dock. That's unfortunate, but you've got a new design. And really, when you think about what Microsoft has pulled off here, you've got to be impressed. So some paperwork here, nothing too interesting. I want to show you the power brick, which I know is right here. And I mentioned before, you can use a micro USB to charge this. That's a killer feature on this tablet, no question about it. I really should say PC because that's what it really is. But you're going to get your best charge time from this charger. Now, this does not work with any other Surface tablets from days past, and that's because none of them were able to be charged with a micro USB cable. So this is critical, a game changer here. The price point, the performance, everything is right where it should be. You will have a free upgrade to Windows 10 when it does eventually drop. And again, the 3 positions on the kickstand do make this really far more usable. The Surface Pro 3 does have a wider range with its kickstand. It's not limited to 3 positions, but still, this is simply unmatched. I mean, that's what you have to think of. You cannot find anything like this for its price point. $130 buys you the type cover, which in my opinion, is a must-have for this if you plan to use it as a laptop. Of course, you can just stick with using it as a tablet. The Surface Pro 3 Stylus is compatible with this because it is the same N-Trig technology. Of course, Generation 1 and 2 of the Pro, Wacom-based, is not going to work with this tablet because it simply doesn't support it. Other things you should know, Bluetooth 4.0 on board. In terms of Wi-Fi support, of course, it is 802.11 ABG and AC compatible. But it's really all about having a zero compromise experience at a price point that traditionally makes you compromise. And 10 hours of battery life, that's a new high for any Windows driven machine like this that, of course, is based around a real full-blown operating system. The 3.5 megapixel camera on the front, I'm not expecting big things. The 8 megapixel on the rear is nice. I mean, these are all enhancements that are important to really make something that will have mass appeal. And that's what Microsoft has done here. For $500, they've put a product on the market that's going to make every person that runs out to buy a mobile OS-driven tablet wonder, why am I sinking $500 into that tablet when I could be getting myself a computer, even if I don't need one? Granted, this is a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker than many or most of the mobile OS-driven Android Apple-alike tablets that this will compete with, but in terms of capability and performance, this simply kills everything else that you could possibly compare it to, especially when paired with the type cover and the $200 optional dock, the pen. I mean, even though these are all extra accessories, I simply can't show you another product that is like this on the entire market. So that's what makes the brand new Surface 3 unique. Very excited to have it in my possession, share it with all of you. Again, great features at an affordable price point, something we've never seen, and still with fantastic build quality, which Microsoft at least in my experience, all of the Surface products have had excellent builds. So great to see more value and performance, as well as that I'm still going to keep reminding you, charging over micro USB. Wow. I mean, this is, I know that shouldn't be impressive, but it is. This is truly a mobile device that can do just about everything as long as you respect the limitations of that quad-core Atom X7 chip. Again, for the $100 premium, I would probably personally go with the step up to the 128 with the 4 gigs of RAM. But then again, you're approaching Surface Pro 3 pricing there, especially as they get discounted with the SP4 on the way, which is arguably right around the corner. But that pretty much covers everything you need to know about the brand new Surface 3. Hope you all enjoyed. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.